bad news. Kadena is looking more sickly than even a bearish asshole like myself would have guessed. And I think I've kind of set the stage for the idea that my Kadena analysis, throughout this bear market has been pretty damn solid. If being daring enough to say, perhaps the best you could find on YouTube. I don't expect everybody to agree with that, but it's possible. Some believe that, right? Because, hell, look at the scrolling comments down below. And it has been pretty spot on. So, that is to say, I get bearish fast, and this is more bearish than what my bearishness would expect. And it's not looking good because it's getting to the point where there is nothing else to hold it up until a nice big plunge down. Like a big one. And it's going to happen soon. Like, it's at that point, literally. So let's dive in. I want to show you what to expect. This could go pretty deep, but I'll show you where it will go and how you can know when that is initiated. So once you see what I'm about to show you, you already know where it's going and why. But until you see what I'm about to show you, the trigger point, it's probably not going to happen, like on the micro time frames. However, given that the bear market's not over, it's probably going to happen. It's just a question of when, mostly. So let's go look at it. Man, yeah, I didn't expect it to quite do this. Man. So right now, price is being held up by this and only this. Okay? So you see how when it first came out, all the investment firms that held it and all the pre-sale people who, whatever, and maybe even the company founders or whatever, they just all sold their tokens to everybody, all retail buying it, right? So they can fund their project for the next several years. That's what that is. And you could see that buyers began at $1. Psychological number, big bounce. Okay. So $1 will be probably a big deal for a while. The next area buyers stepped in at the genesis of price is in this level here. So because this happened, it creates a self-fulfilling prophecy after it comes down that when it does come back to this level, even if it's going to be a bull market nasty move, the buyers who are pushing it up after the move down, they will stop buying there for a while to at least see how much the sellers take it, right? It's like taking a break. I'm going to beat you in a race, or no, in a boxing match. That's a better. So, let's say at the beginning of the bull market, after it comes down, you're the better boxer, you're kicking butt. However, sometimes you need to take a break. So you're just going to defend yourself and, take some hits and keep your guard up. That's what buyers would do on the way back up. And it becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy in that way, right? So drag it over. I'm showing you why, what is actually happening and how does it all happen? I'm telling you, this is exactly what's happening. So, beginning of the bull market, what happened? Hesitation. That's it. This happened exactly here because of that. Because there was nothing else to work off of. There were very few trading, there are few price bumpers. Yeah, you had fib lines, okay, and you had a few structure points. That's it. All right, here we go. So keep dragging it out. It's hitting that and an origin line. So what did I just say about a bull market and what buyers do at that level? They take a break, but they're the better boxer, kicking some ass, chewing some bubble gum and taking some names, collecting paychecks, buying Bitcoin. But a bear market, the bears are in control. What are they probably doing right now? Taking a break. Same thing applies in reverse, folks. So this could move sideways for quite a while, sure. But just realize this is the better boxer taking a break. So what could happen? This is the end of November when the December candle ticks. It might actually kind of saddle ride this, kind of like Bitcoin will be doing, but this is on top of its origin line. It's going to hover around this origin line potentially for, through early December. And once, and then once it starts coming back into this blue box with the assumption that it can't hold on to that, once it dives back into here, or even once it comes below the origin line, you already know it's coming straight here. So let's say through December, you see Kadena at 95 cents. When you see it go below that origin line, you know that what's happening. That's when that better boxer who's the bear starts punching again. Maybe not punching to kill or to knock out yet, but it will punch it down straight to there. The boxer will go for the knockout once Kadena price goes below this point right here. This is how it is going to happen with a very high likelihood. So the acceleration down to this next origin line probably won't happen until this point here. The way that there could be an exception to that, let's say it just comes here and falls off the cliff. Well, it's because there was a bull trap on Bitcoin and then it aggressively sold off 15% in a 15-minute candle. Or a 30 to 1 hour minute, 60-minute hour candle, right? It could fly through here, but without a flash sell-off of Bitcoin, the acceleration of the downside move will happen here at that point. And you know where it's going, to the next origin line down, at minimum. But here's the thing. So you see how this origin line had additional support with the horizontal? With the psychology that is self-fulfilling thing, okay? Right? There is no horizontal here. It could get a baby bounce, but you ain't reversing from there, boys and girls. It would do something weak and then head to the next one. And it honestly looks like it's going to hit 43 cents. That's in January. Now, what would we see in the chart if the probability of that situation happens becomes improbable? Because right now it's probable, I'm telling you. What would you need to see for it to be improbable? Which can happen. Probabilities change. It's not guaranteed to happen. It's just at this snapshot in time, that 2-year-old or 18-month-old who has temper tantrums at that age, right? Let's say you went to a festival outside, and at any moment in time, the probabilities of that child getting an ice cream based on good behavior, how it interacts, or how price interacts with an origin line, or how the 18-month-old is behaving, the probabilities can change. If he starts acting up, but not going crazy, well, the probabilities of getting ice cream is dropping, right? But if the kid is, doing backflips and, getting girls' phone numbers at 18 months old, dad's going to be proud, probabilities are going up, right? Okay, same thing. The probabilities are fluid at any snapshot in time. It's just the key of how do I know what the probability is at any snapshot in time? So as long as Kadena, let's say, is above this origin line, right? Let's call it I would say the second Tuesday. So the first Tuesday is here, second Tuesday is here. If it's still above this origin line by that day, because that's my target for Bitcoin following in SPX as well, by that, like around that time, plus or minus a few days. So I'm using the time axis here as well, and that's Tuesday, December 13th. If it's above, bouncing on this line by that point, that's when it becomes improbable that all that shit is going to happen. It's more likely that it doesn't happen, and that Kadena, will do something else. Because it would probably fundamentally change how deeply it goes, right? But until that line, if Kadena is around this origin line, it is still more probable that those targets, that situation is going to play out. If something radical happens, and it all, how could the probability of all that happening flip like soon if you get a crazy bullish move? It's taking out this wick high and using it as support. Not just going above it, not just going above 113, but using 113 as support. That's also when, from the short-term time frame, an explosive move, that's when all that bear stuff would also become improbable. One is on the time axis dependent, one is horizontal dependent, could happen tomorrow. The probabilities can change. And that's how they would change. Those are the exact level. But until those things happen, it is more probable that what I just showed you, the bear stuff and those levels are going to be hit. Man, yeah, it's not looking very good for Kadena, but at least we know what we're looking for and what our targets are, right? I mean, because if you're a fan of Kadena, don't you prefer to buy it when it's cheaper? Yeah, like gas, petro, it's better when it's cheaper. You like it, not to drink, but to drive. I did not mean to use those two words in a sentence like that. That was not a great sentence. But anyway, Kadena to the upside. It's not super bullish just to be above this origin line. But it does become bullish come mid-December. Because I already expect both Ethereum and Bitcoin to also behave similarly with their origin lines, which are in play. But rather use them as resistance. But regardless, just stay on them. So if Kadena simply follows those two, that doesn't change my analysis and it doesn't change the probabilities until it gets to that point on time. That should keep you safe with Kadena Price. I mean, hell, potentially through the rest of the year.